you out of the first there.
Yeah.
It got kind of weird.
Yeah, we just said that on the air where I think it's really hard to evaluate, a start like that, but you can see how special he is. There's not many people that survive a first inning like that. I mean, bases loaded, I think no outs, and he's able to get some punch outs and get off the field. We know how good he can be. We've watched him for 6 months pitch against our guys, and we think our guys are pretty good offensively, and he's really handled us. But it's tough, as a freshman, and so I think he's kind of fighting that a little bit. But in between, in his 3 outings, there's certainly a lot to be excited about. But there's also a lot more in his tank, and I think you'll see that.
Sounds like Furnace has been working on a lot of stuff. Just good to see him get going.
Yeah. Will sometimes can make it, can overthink a little bit, and I think he came into this fall trying to do a lot of different things after coming off a pretty good freshman year, and he had a rough fall, and to say the least. But we know he can hit. We know he has the right chromosomes in that body. But I'm proud of him because 3 games in a row, he's been able to start his first at bat of the game with a home run, and today I think that was one of the big turning points. And Brad said it's true. We're 2 outs, and it looks like maybe we squander another opportunity and make some good pitches, and looks like they're out away from getting off the field like we did in the first, and then he blasts one to left, and all of a sudden we go up to 3-0, and that's a big difference than if that doesn't happen.
Just broadly speaking, guys who think about it a lot like that, I mean, how do you approach coaching that?
Well, and sometimes it's good, but I think it's like life in general. There's so much information out there that sometimes I think you have to be careful. And I'm not talking about athletics. I'm just talking about in life in general. And I think you have to be wise of what you're trying to do, that you don't put too much on yourself. You don't gather too much information. Sometimes it can just wear you down and be cumbersome. And that's in sports. You see that where guys want to work so hard that sometimes they don't let themselves, especially in this sport, be free, be confident. And that can hinder you. And I'm not saying I know Will's a really sharp guy. He's you guys know his history and his father, and I think he knows about as much as hitting as anybody that's ever come into the program. And so sometimes that can be a negative. And I'm not I'm teasing in a way early the comment, but you can see how talented he really is.
I feel like over these past 3 games, maybe they're settling down, kind of settling in.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to look more like the team we thought we would be. Still trying to figure a lot of things out, but we were hopeful that we would look more like this when we're trying to figure things out. So, it's a little easier to, go back into the locker room and discuss the game when you win, and what areas you need to improve, who played well, what roles look like they're getting filled, and those types of things. But you can tell just by the way they're moving around. You can tell. I would think if you're just a general fan, just the swings, the pitches, the plays defensively. Yeah, I think we're looking more like ourselves.
Anything specific to flipping Quinn and Dennis on the weekend?
I just, one of the things that we've talked about with Nose, returning Friday night guy, we just, one of the things, and you're right, I could have just stayed with Quinn, and Quinn understands. I spoke to him, but one of the things is you want to pitch the guy on Friday night that gives you the best opportunity to win, and who's pitching the best, and he's done that. Now again, you don't want to be so wishy-washy that Quinn pitches 2 Fridays in a row and ends up going to the bullpen. I don't know if that's necessarily fair, but I think Gunnar deserves it, so we want to give him that opportunity.
Was he dealing? We're way up there. Was Quinn dealing with a blister or something last week?
He had 2 blisters. He's been dealing with 2 blisters really since the beginning of the season. He's got one on his index finger and one on his ring finger, both from different pitches, and he's in a better shape with that now, I think. And so I wasn't going to say that, but felt like hey, that might have been the thing to push me over the edge. Where hey, why not give him one more day, and maybe the fingers will be in a little better shape.
I thought of this when you mentioned Malice's.
Very good.
When you mentioned Malice's changeup of the day, how far can you lengthen him? I mean, is he potentially better a second time through than the past because of the third pitch?
I think so, but I think just as much a changeup as his strike percentage with his fastball. And I think being able to throw 3 pitches makes him ultra special. I mean, but let's face it, when you're that good with that slider, I don't think that just makes you one time around. Scott Biddle, showed that if your one pitch is that dominant, he can be really good, and especially the way he can manipulate it. We talked about that a few days ago, where he can throw it in the zone. He can sometimes throw it a little tighter, a little harder. So sometimes it becomes a couple pitches and just one pitch in itself. But I hear what you're saying, and I agree. The changeup, I think, for guys that can handle the breaking ball, I don't necessarily look at just another time through. But for guys that can really handle the breaking ball, especially a left-handed hitter or something like that, to have another ball that's now going away from you, that's a similar speed. But along with that is, I'm proud of the fastball, because I don't know if you saw him early in the season when he was coming back. The slider looked like normal, but his fastball command, which he's always had, wasn't there yet. And it has now, and he's throwing the ball firm, and he's throwing the ball, low 90s, maybe even popping a couple mid 90s. So he looks good.
I think he was on 40 pitches or something last time. Is he on any count at all? I mean, how far
No,
did he go?
I mean, I think no different than anybody. A normal, healthy. He's healthy. I got to be careful the way I say it. Coming off surgery, but he's been off surgery for 14, 15 months now. So there's no limitations to him. And I think that's really what your question is.
Yeah.
I mean, we can ramp him up to where he can throw some more pitches, and that's one of the exciting things is, can he be that guy? Can he be the guy that gives you some length in the bullpen, where he can become a Will Klein in early 06? Can he be a Scott Biddle? Because I think sometimes what happens to the surgery guys is it's not the amount of pitches, it's not how hard, it sometimes comes how quickly can they bounce back, after throwing. And we've tried to, that's the thing I think we're more cognizant of is, not that he needs a week, but, can he go back-to-back days, or is it better to throw him 3 and just let him go, and, get a third of the game out of the way.
Those guys turn into starters.
They do sometimes.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
See you.